Yeah.
We're live. It's Friday night, and Nick's got good news. Nick, take it away. What just happened?
Bucks just won. 112 to 109.
Woo! They're doing much better. They're kind of win one, lose one for a while, but it's coming around, huh?
Yep, they're doing good.
All right. You sent me a text of that sort saying they're doing well now.
Yeah, they're on a hot streak.
Ooh, hot streak as the weather's getting cold. The Bucks are getting hot. That's good. What's the record now? I didn't even look.
It'll be 9-4 in a few little seconds.
Oh, all right. And the big news was what? What's the big news? You guys are talking NBA here coming in?
We're starting out Bucks tonight.
Yeah.
The big news out of the East is the big James Harden trade.
Ooh.
James Harden to the Nets.
Wow.
And, they tried talking like it's a big three, but I'm not sold on it. I'm not worried as a Bucks fan about those three. I think if it was on NBA 2K21, they'd be a pretty darn good team. But with actual real life people with personalities and egos and outside of the court activities, I don't know if those three will gel very well together.
That is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Well, two of them did play together before, a long, long time ago. But that was when Harden was purely a coming off the bench sixth man. So it's been years since that. He's been the ball hog guy who has to have the ball 25,000 times and in his hand all the time. So how's that going to work with Durant? Plus, the other guy who's about the big three is also point guard, right?
Kyrie is a head case too.
That's what I'm saying. It's a disaster. I don't care what anybody says. That's a disaster. Any team with Harden on it is a mess because he sucks.
I'll put it on web right here that I'm not so sure that all three of them will ever play in a playoff game this year at the same game. Oh. I don't think all three of them will show up for the games. Kyrie's already not showing up now. He's doing like your Office Space that you were talking about a few weeks back, where he's like, "I'm not going to go into work tomorrow," and they're like, "You going to quit?" He's like, "No, I'm just not going to go." And so he just doesn't go to the games. And he does like other meetings during game times and stuff like that. He's not injured and he doesn't have COVID and he's just not going because he doesn't want to. And then Harden, and I can say this as a big boned American, Harden is fat and out of shape. And which is, if someone's paying you $40 million a year you get on the treadmill every once in a while, I would think. But, he's not been doing that so far. Maybe he will. Maybe he's just depressed in Houston. Texas has good barbecue, and maybe the New York Gentlemen's Club buffets aren't as full as Houston's.
Yeah, the Southern cooking can get to you if you eat too much of it. But do you think, does his beard make him look fatter?
No.
Okay.
His big stomach makes him look fatter.
Hey, what's going on with your face? Let's see that.
I thought we were doing playoff beards.
Wow. Impressive. When did you start that? Last week?
Yesterday.
Whoa! Grizzly Adams.
It's called being a real man. Look into it.
Wow.
Come on now. No, if I tried to grow a beard, it would look much like Bruce's did a couple weeks ago. It was pathetic. So it's good that you should.
Wow. He's not even here to defend himself from that slam.
He's there. That was pathetic. He knows it. Come on. Terrible. The only thing I had going for me was that it used to be a little darker, but now there's getting a lot more whites in there. So it's
you can't let it get too long.
It's bad. It's just never going to happen. I wonder, I could go my whole life with never having a beard ever.
You can diet.
I do need to diet. I am getting a little overweight. Thanks for noticing.
Not weight. Dye it.
Dye the beard. Black. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm with you. I got it.
You could work this into your sponsorship just for Hafeman.
Right. Just for Hafeman beard.
There's so many possibilities. Hey, Bernard's in the house. Eggs is here. Bruce is here. All right. Bernard, come on. Skip picked the Rams. Of course he did. Did he also say that Jared Goff is better than Aaron Rodgers? Is that what he also said?
Come on now. Only Ben thinks that.
No.
I don't think that.
Come on, Skip is
A one-handed Jared Goff.
yeah, he's terrible. Oh, Bruce does say his beard was pathetic. His so-called beard. That's
I
the
tried-
real reason he shaved it off. Not because he wanted a kiss from his wife, because it would look so bad. And I understand, Bruce. I've done it myself. Anyway,
You grew a beard so you wouldn't have to kiss your wife too?
no, I tried to grow a beard and I had to shave it off because it looks so pathetic and so bad. I was like, it's got to go. All
I
right,
had a beard 3 Christmases ago.
that was when I thought you were Santa Claus.
I know, I looked like Santa. That's why I had to shave it, because it was all white. It was terrible. I had to go.
All right, we got the Naked Rick or the Naked Rick. Could still be Naked Rick. You never know. Never know. Could happen.
Rick. Oh,
Whoa!
oh, hey.
Whew.
Got to keep this
A nip slip? A
PG-13.
nip slip?
We gotta be
Maybe.
careful.
That's my pasty on. I like
our
both
video
my
gets our
5
video
chest
get
hairs
lumped
over
with
it.
some other ones, Eric. You don't want our videos lumped with some other ones on YouTube.
Eckes just sent his playoff beard to the chat, and it's kind of scraggly and unkempt.
Yeah. Well, he's going fishing tomorrow. He said, great day. He loves the time of the game, fish all day, then come back home, not pay attention to his kid, and then watch Packers. That's what he said.
Not pay attention to his kid.
Yep.
Whoa.
Who's got more catches tomorrow, Devontae or Eckes?
I'm going to say Eggis.
I'll say
Eckes
Eckes
gets more
too.
catches.
Yep. That's interesting. We got to get into that. All right, let's start it off. Ben, you got a video? Bernard, don't be scared, buddy. Don't be scared.
I didn't do anything. I said I was going to look at a bunch of stuff, and I was like,
Good, because we got some. That's why we got these guys on here. Nico, I know you
What?
said that you didn't watch playoff football last week because there was no Packers playing, but I want to know
Yep.
how you feel about this matchup because we haven't heard from you yet.
I feel very good about it because I'm 99% sure the Packers are winning the Super Bowl this year. 99%.
I like that.
There was big news today again. I don't know if you want to get into that already, but I'm feeling very good about it. I don't think Jared Goff's anything to worry about, whether he has two good hands or not. And the fact we're playing in the frozen tundra, it's a little snowy out over here. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be good.
I think it's going to be crazy based on what the weather pattern and predictions are. Could be like really warm, considering the time of the year for this game, and then they get through it next week could be drastically different temperature wise. But it looks like it's going to be pretty comfortable conditions. I mean, so that should mean the passing attack shouldn't be impacted much by that, but it also means the Rams probably won't be that impacted by it either because it's going to be around 30 degrees and snow should be done by then and all that stuff. So
30 is still cold for LA.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, but
I think Aaron Donald's ribs getting smashed all the time at 30 degrees isn't going to feel great.
We can hope. Rick, what about this matchup for you? What do you think?
I think the key is really going to be Aaron Rodgers. And the reason I say that is it was clear last week that the Rams really did their homework. They were watching film and they were really keying on some passes that they were anticipating, getting early breaks on them. We saw one of those really swing the momentum on the pick six. And look, everybody knows that Rodgers tends to look for Devontae. There's going to be some plays that they're going to be watching for. And I think it's really going to be important not to give up a turnover that's going to swing the momentum back or let them back into the game. So I think it's really going to be critical that he not try to force something. I know he's usually pretty careful, but we've seen even this year, if things just aren't clicking, teams have taken advantage of it. So I think it's really going to be important for him to try to keep the Rams defense on their heels. It's going to be, LaFleur working in the running game, working some different formations, trying to get guys open, not rely on just Devontae down the sideline every time. And, the defense doesn't have to feel like they have to win the game. I think it's just going to be important that they don't lose the game. Just make a stop once in a while, get the offense off the field. Don't don't just give up a quick score and have the offense try to get you back into it on the next series again. So I think that's going to be the key for the Packers. From the Rams side, I think they need to try to disrupt the Packers offense. And obviously game planning against Russell Wilson is a little bit different, but Rodgers is still fairly mobile. I mean, he can still move in the pocket. The Packers running game has enough versatility that they should be able to still keep the defense honest in that regard. So I think if the Rams want to try to stop them, it's going to have to be shutting down the running game and force the Packers to pass. And I just don't see that happening. I think the Packers have too much balance on the offense. As long as they don't get caught up in making stupid trick sort of plays or getting too predictable, I think the offense is going to be rolling and just take the lead and not look back.
All right, I'm going to go to bed in a second, but I do have to clear up a couple things. I didn't mean to say Ekis was ignoring his kid. I forgot that he has a kid that actually watches football games with him, unlike my kids or Ben's. Nick, does your kid watch football? Jesus, Eric?
Dance.
Jeez.
A little bit.
Ekis trained her young, though. He trained her young. She grew up with a football
still
in her
young.
mouth. Didn't you get like football snacks, football shaped snacks for your kid? Like when you could get the little crackers that were football shaped, stuff like that. I know you did something over there because my kids just won't even do it. Won't even do it. Even if it's like, hey, you can stay. If the only way you can stay up late is if you watch Sunday Night Football with Daddy, they just go to bed.
Oh, my kids will do that to stay up late. Then they're loud and don't pay attention and I have to yell at them.
Well, of course, they got to yell at him. Bernard, don't be worried. Don't be scared. Ben, why is Bernard scared?
He's scared every week.
I know
works
this
most
time.
of the
Every week he
time.
comes out and he says he's scared. And then by the end of the night, he says the Packers are going to win by 3 touchdowns every freaking week.
I love it. His score prediction's awesome.
He goes on a roller coaster ride, that guy.
It's okay. Just in one show. Or we help calm him, and then we also help him feel better about his team, see the light, actually just calm his nerves enough that he can see it for himself. And then he's like, yeah, we're going to do it. I love Nick's prediction, though. I said that before. I'm feeling like this year is going to be different. And so I'm going to tell you right now, I want to enjoy these games. I want to enjoy this game. And I will be extremely disappointed if the Packers don't win. And I always am, but like this would be really, really tough for me this year if it doesn't work out. So I'm feeling like it's going to work out for many reasons.
Do you see what happened today?
What happened today? John O'Malley's here. How you doing, John?
Hey, John. Lil Wayne dropped a Packers fight song,
Oh,
which he has not done since the last time they won the Super Bowl. Reports are out that coach asked for it even. And now all the players are saying we're going to run through brick walls because we heard this song. And we're all set to go and win the Super Bowl.
I did not know about the Lil Wayne thing.
You didn't know about you knew about the old song, right?
Yeah.
I didn't.
You didn't know about it?
No, I don't listen to crap. I mean, rap. Sorry.
You got it. Can you give us a rendition, Nick?
Well, you guys are familiar with the song Black and Yellow? Probably not.
I am. Yeah, we've heard it.
It's exactly like that, except for it replaces the word black with green.
Wow.
I can't sing the original version because there's some words in it that aren't safe for YouTube or for some people to say. But the newer version is clean. It starts out a little bit different, then it goes back into the green and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow part. He gives a bunch of players shout outs. He calls out Aaron Rodgers' ability to draw people off sides as part of this rap song. Mason Crosby is mentioned in a rap song, which I don't know if he ever dreamed that was going to happen. He mentions Aaron Jones by name. Ben mentions put on the sunglasses.
Yeah, he should.
He says Aaron Jones' name in the song. He does mention number 4 and number 92 and number 15 as the legends that get shout outs. But I started seeing all the players on Twitter tonight saying how excited they were about this rap song. from Lil Wayne, and he's one of the most famous celebrity Packer fans. And they got the fight song. They're all set to go. He hasn't done it since they won the Super Bowl. So now they got another fight song. They're going to win another Super Bowl.
Dang, that's good logic. I like that.
That's like classic, what was that, SAT, ACT stuff, right?
Yep.
Lil Wayne does a rap, and the Packers win a Super Bowl. So if Lil Wayne does a rap, the Packers are going to win the Super Bowl. Actually, it's a little different. Usually it's a little more complex than that.
Coach LaFleur probably moved up in the Coach of the Year ranks because last year they were 13-3, but they didn't have a Lil Wayne song. Now they're 13-3 with a Lil Wayne song. That's going to put them over the top.
All right.
Hey, John's got some inside breaking news here. The Rams' flight apparently got messed up, and they haven't even landed in Green Bay yet. So apparently those they didn't get the right pilot who knows how to land in the snow or whatever it is. And so that's helping the Packers out too. All kinds of help for the Packers.
That's good.
Woo-hoo!
Man,
Like
just
that.
imagine if Brady played for the Packers, how lucky they'd get.
Unbelievable. Rick, did you enjoy some Brady favoritism last week?
I just want to turn the page on that and move forward and
Okay.
just anticipate what we're going to see this week, especially if the Saints get out to a lead.
All right, there's some other games going on, but let's get to keys. You want to talk about the other games first? Or you want to talk about the Packer game and dig into it? Let's do some other games. Quick hits on the other games, just to see what you guys think. All right. I want gut instinct here. Chiefs and Brownies and Chiefs. What's going to happen, Eric?
I would love to see the Browns win. I think they have a shot. The Chiefs are not invincible, and I think especially with the Browns pounding the ball, if they can get that running game going again, they got two backs that are pretty interchangeable, can both run it, straight up their gut, break a big play. If they can do that, keep the Chiefs off the field, stop Mahomes from getting into a rhythm, they could pull it off. That's my quick hit.
Sounds good. Jason always mutes himself like a ding dong when he asks somebody a question, and then
That's because my kids are banging around the stairs.
Oh,
I
tell
don't
them to
want
cut it out.
Jump in there, Ben. You got any thoughts on that one? Quick.
I don't care.
Sounds good, Nico.
I believe Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes had one of those epic Big 8 shootout games where like 97-87 in college. Maybe we'll see some of those fireworks in this game.
Woo, Big 8 throwback. All right, let's go back to Saturday. I missed on that one. Ravens and Bills. Who's excited about that one? Ben.
Don't care.
Okay. Rick, give us something.
I think this one's going to come down to Lamar Jackson. I think, you've got two quarterbacks that can both carry their team. I think the Bills are a little more balanced offensively and also defensively. They're fairly sound. But I think Lamar Jackson is going to be the wild card in this one. If he gets hot, rips off a couple of big runs, that could be the deciding factor. That being said, I think the Bills are going to take it by probably less than a touchdown.
Oh, Nico, any thoughts?
Since we're doing this around the horn style, I think I get points if I say the words Micah Hyde.
You're right.
See?
Secret sauce, secret weapon for the Bills is Micah Hyde. Be your spy. Lamar Jackson. Take him down, baby. Blitz Micah every play.
He'll do better than the last guy for Tennessee that totally whiffed on that free safety totally whiffed on Lamar's big touchdown run he had. Micah will tackle him there. There's no doubt. He won't take a stupid angle like that guy did.
You don't have to defend passes. So, just go send Micah on the blitz all the time. Okay, I got to get caught up. Sorry, I missed some stuff because I can't see the chat here, but I see the chat over here. Butter's on here. Butter, how's it going? Butter first said the Browns by a landslide. Then he said he got hacked. Eka says KC's going to win by 21. Going back to that game. Everybody likes the Chiefs pretty much. Uno, John O'Malley feels like KC this year gives him vibes of the Packers in 2011. And he thinks KC might go down. Now on to the Bills. John says Bills by 10. Ravens will beat the Bills, according to Bernard. And Butter says Bills 45-42. Woo-hoo-hoo. Wow. Eckes points out that Baker is the oldest quarterback in the AFC playoffs right now. And he thinks the Bills will win by 7 with the Ravens. Now, this other game, the oldest guys in the world play quarterback, Buccaneers and Saints.
The Senior Bowl.
That's right. What do you think, Rick? Are they going to both survive with their old
I'm not sure about Drew
carcasses?
Brees.
Okay.
I hope they bring an extra set of batteries for his wheelchair so he can roll out. I don't know. I'd love to see the Saints win and have the Buccaneers go down in flames. There's so many reasons, for me at least, to dislike the Buccaneers, bringing in a bunch of crusty old vets, hired guns, but Brown is really the coup de grace in that. That said, I think the Brady luck and the playoff experience of the Brady factor is going to be too much for the Saints to overcome. Bucks advance, looking at a battle of the Bays next week.
Oh.
Revenge for Green Bay.
Nico.
Do we know if either one of the old-timer quarterbacks got their COVID shot already, since they're both over 75? Because that could affect your throwing motion if you just got your shot.
I think they're in Group C. After they get through all the assisted livings and nursing homes, then it's old quarterbacks.
Well, then I got to go with the Buccaneers because Brady I don't know, he just doesn't seem to lose until it's disgusting, but he always makes a run. So I'd take the Buccaneers now.
Could Tom Brady have had an easier path than to play in the Packers in the championship?
It's happened to him before. Yeah, I know you broke it down, but in his previous playoffs, he's been the guy that faced the fourth string quarterback for some bad team that snuck into the playoffs.
Ugh. Ben, you care about this one?
Not really.
All right. Then I got to ask you this here. Quick trivia question.
I won't care. I will care about it if the Packers win. Then I'll care.
Okay.
That's the thing about this weekend. Right now, all I care about is Packers football. That's all I want to watch. That's all I've been waiting for 2 weeks. We've had to wait this whole long time for something to happen. They're in the playoffs. We have a game tomorrow. Awesome, awesome. If they win, I'll be glued to the TV all weekend trying to figure out who they're going to play next between, who might come out of the AFC, and then, of course, who's going to win between the Buccaneers and the Saints. And then if the Packers, for some reason, lose, then I won't give two craps about the rest of this junk. So I'm not going to waste any time talking about these games at this point. But I will talk about their opponent for next week once they win. So That's my opinion on all the other games.
One quick note about the Saints and Bucks is the Saints, not only does Brady have this long-standing history of getting favoritism and calls for him, the Saints have gotten jobbed a number of times in the playoffs and also had crazy stuff go wrong against them, like the thing in Minnesota and all that stuff. So I don't know. It just doesn't look good for the Saints unless they decide they're going to play Taysom Hill and run the ball a whole bunch. But I don't know if they're going to do that. Quick side note, trivia. Now, Taysom Hill threw more than just a couple passes this year. He did actually throw some passes. He had like 100 plus attempts, 121 attempts, something like that. Who had a higher completion percentage, Taysom Hill or Aaron Rodgers? And Rodgers is over 70% this year, almost 71%.
Is there a minimum passes thrown to qualify you for this comparison?
No, Hill had like 121 pass attempts, I think. Rodgers was like 526, which was also 100 less than Matt Ryan, who had the most in the league. But, neither here nor there when they talk about, he had more yards than him. Anyway, back to the point. Taysom Hill, Aaron Rodgers, higher completion percentage.
Knowing how you like your trick questions, I'll go with Taysom Hill, with the caveat that probably 2/3 of those were to Alvin Kamara for about 2 yards.
Some were to himself as well. He just kind of lobbed it up there and then ran forward underneath it and caught it and ran because he's really good at running with the ball. But he needs some open space first. It is Taysom Hill, just barely. Taysom Hill at a higher completion percentage. I was looking at a bunch of quarterback stats and rankings yesterday, and that surprised me. Let's get to the chat here, and then we'll get to the big game. So, People think the Bucks. A lot of people think the Bucks. Bruce. Oh, wow. As much as he wants Brady, Bruce thinks the Saints are going to win big, 34-16. That's bold. That is like a spicy taco or something. Nice work, Bruce. I hope you're right, because I'd rather see the Saints than the Bucks, but I don't really care because I just feel good about my Packers this year. All right, Packers and Rams. Let's get into it, you guys. Packers and Rams. Keys to this game. Ben, kick us off. What do you think? I know you got a lot of thoughts over there.
It's going to be interesting to see how they play. It's all based on the Rams defense, how they're going to play against the Packers. I mean, if they play like they played last week, then Packers are going to have to do zone beaters and but also the thing like I showed on Tuesday was the Rams defense, even though they're in zone, they're really good at covering a guy that comes in their zone and sticking with him. And that's why there's a couple plays you saw where the Seahawks did shallow crosses and it kind of messed up the middle of the defense where guys went with the shallow crosses and then there's guys open in the middle. But the problem is, Russell Wilson didn't have his eyes up and wasn't looking for that. So there's ways to attack them. I think the linebackers, inside linebackers, are probably their weakest point for the team. So utilizing shallow crosses, play action passes, making those guys have to be the decision makers and attacking that middle of the field. Problem is Rodgers hardly ever likes throwing in the middle of the field. So it's going to be interesting to see if he's willing to do what needs to be done to win the game. Also run the ball. I mean, we got to run the ball. You got to have and use Aaron Jones more than just a running back. Let's have him swing out, use him against that secondary because he can beat that secondary. Even Jalen Ramsey, I don't care. Aaron Jones will take care of Jalen Ramsey. But that's all. I mean, those are the keys that I'm looking at. Is what are the Rams going to do? Is if they play man to man, then we got a bunch of plays that'll work there. If they play zone, it's going to be a little different. They're a very good zone team, and I don't know if the Packers are going to be able to handle that. So that's one thing that scares me.
I have this thought. I had this thought just coming into it. More and more I thought about the game was this game, and even quite possibly the next game based on conditions and other things like that, and the matchup potentially, is we do not need Aaron Rodgers to be the man in this game. Aaron Rodgers has to be the complement in this game for it to be the best possible outcome for the Packers. They've got to be able to run the ball. They've got to stick with that. And then off play action, on third downs, make the right decisions, make the right throws, use his brain, use what he sees in the field. If he's, gets him out of a bad play or picks the right play or does whatever, if it's a loaded box or whatever it is. But I think that is, to be honest, on this run that I hope is coming, Aaron Rodgers has to only be the man and light it up in the Super Bowl. He does not need to be the man and light it up in this game, and he does not need to do it in the NFC Championship game for the Packers to win. That's what I think.
But I think he would have to be the man against the Chiefs and or the Bills.
Yeah, exactly.
These teams in the AFC that score all these points.
Yep.
So it's like, but that of course is not going to be in Lambeau Field. That would be down wherever in Tampa, right? So it's a different air and all that kind of stuff. So it's right. I mean, we've been saying it for how long now? I mean, what they did in week 16 against the Titans, that's how they need to play. The problem is the Titans defense is like the bottom 5 of the league and the Rams defense is number 1. So it's a little bit different to be able to do that against the Rams defense as what they did against the Titans. But that's the key. Can Aaron Rodgers, first of all, not just stare down Devontae all the time, but what I'd like to see too is really good protection, using the tight ends and backs to chip so that he gets a little bit more time maybe, and always double team Aaron Donald. I don't care where he is, wherever he is. If he's over here, and have Jenkins, and wherever he is, Lindsley needs to go that way, is all I'm going to say, and double team him. and stay together because he's quick enough and he goes right through double team sometimes. He just beats the double team straight down the middle. And they cannot do that. They have to be assertive on their blocks. If anybody's not sure, they'll be in trouble there. But by doing that, then what they could maybe do is we watched how the Rams are playing off, but then they jump those wide receiver screens. I would love to see a pump fake wide receiver screen and then a go off of it, and have the secondary jump to try to get that wide receiver screen, because the Packers have done so many this year, so many wide receiver screens and quick passes to wide receivers. Do a pump fake and then gone, and then have Devontae or whoever go past, jump past it because he looks like he's getting it, then he goes. But to do that, you got to freaking block for a good 2.5 seconds and keep Aaron Rodgers clean. So it's going to be tricky that way, but those are key things, and then also running the ball. You got to run the ball, and someone in the chat here is talking about Robert Tonyan. I think if there's ever a game where Robert Tonyan can be used, it's this one, because he can really be a mismatch for the secondary of the Rams as well as the inside linebackers. I don't think any of those guys can tackle him or stick. Well, maybe they can tackle him, but I mean, stay with him. He's got enough speed to get past linebackers, and he's got size to beat up on the secondary of the Rams. So Rodgers, I think, needs to look for him a little bit more often. And he also has the top catch percentage in the NFL, by the way, just so you know. Back to you. I'm done talking for a while.
Nico, I want you to answer Ben's question.
Before I did that, did you see Tunyan's letter this week?
Yes, it was beautiful.
As a minority Packers owner, I'm willing to offer him a lifetime contract after seeing that. It's really great to see him be so excited to be part of the team. What most of what Ben's saying there is true. I mean, we've seen that, time after time after time, and it makes sense. Playoff football, hard weather football, cold weather football. That's where you got to keep your mistakes to a minimum. That's where you got to be holding on the ball, and we're not a fumbling team. So if you're pounding it, I think one important thing is I see us getting off to a good start in this game, just because there's always the incoming teams never have the right cleat lengths for some reason, and they're always maybe have a drop early on, something like that. Once we get that lead, we have to be smart with it and keep attacking and keep pushing our agenda, and not do the old, well, it's 21-7, so let's just think if that 21 points will hold up and take our foot off the gas, which we all hate to see. So I think go to the game plan, and as long as it's still working, I think again, Tonyan is a great option for this game, and as long as if Tonyan's doing that little thing where he blocks for a half a second, then sneaks out, and you pass it to him and that works, do it 5 or 6 more times. Who cares? Make him stop it. You don't get extra credit for calling the most plays. You get the way you win the game is by successful plays, and this one's working, and you exploit the weakness.
That's the old Bob Hafeman offensive theory.
That's the old Packers sweep theory too.
Right.
We're gonna run the Packers sweep till you stop it.
I wanted you to answer Ben's question of will Aaron Rodgers, or can Aaron Rodgers throw to other guys and do all that stuff?
Can he? Yeah. I mean, he can throw it to anybody, and I'm all, he can throw for 300 yards too. That's just fine as long as they win.
Rick, what do you think about this running game and AJ Dillon being featured more in this game? I mean, they showed him off against Tennessee, and then all of a sudden, 2 plays against the Bears, or 2 carries against the Bears. Do you expect to see more big boy in this one?
I hope so. As I was saying earlier, I think it's going to be really important for the Green Bay offense to keep mixing it up, right? Let's face it, the Packers can be somewhat predictable, and that's what the Rams defense, I think, is going to be counting on, right? The Rams defense, they need their defense to win the game for them. The offense is not going to be the one that's going to be breaking the game open. So I think you need to change it up with the backs. I think you need to use your backs, especially Jones, even in the passing game. Use him to chip on the end of the backer, try to get a little more protection for Rodgers, get him a little more time. Use him to try to isolate those backers, even if he's just decoy, swinging out a bit, try to open up something underneath, whether it's Tunyon, MVS going across the middle. They need to get more people involved. And I think it's going to be important to mix it up with the backs, keep those guys fresh. You change it up with the backs, I don't know if you're going to be trying to smash it up the middle, which might not be. I know Ben likes the idea of going up the middle, run right at Donald. We'll see. Maybe that'll work this week. I don't know if I would count on that, but they've got enough. They've shown enough flair in their running game this year that they can adapt and they can find holes. Whether or not they go to that enough is going to be, of course, the question here. But I would like to see them do the 1-2 punch of Jones and Dillon, and try to feature those two guys, change it up that way. With in the Seahawks game, the Seahawks receivers were getting open. There were opportunities, and Wilson wasn't getting the ball to them, or he just throw it up. And a lot of times that works with DK Metcalf. The Packers don't really have that option, and that's not the way Rodgers plays. But I thought it was encouraging to see these guys getting open, finding holes, getting behind the coverage. And if Green Bay can do that somewhat repeatedly during the game, they're going to have some big plays. But they need to set it up with the running game and short passes.
Right on. Ben, how many Jamal Williams carries do you want to see in this game? Ben?
What?
How many Jamal Williams carries do you want to see in this game?
0. How many times I want to see him on the field? 0 times, unless it's a special teams play.
Okay.
0.
You get 3 at the end when they're running out the clock.
No, A.J. Dillon.
What about if they got a big lead in the fourth quarter? You want Jones to take the hit? Okay, all right.
No, Dillon's got to keep those hits off him. I need him for fantasy next year.
That's right.
Yeah, you're going to let him go so I can get him.
So, I got Delta Beer Lab, the lab, Eric, tonight.
Oh, nice.
I got the Smurf glass from the summer.
Ambi.
Oh, you can't see it.
There you go.
Andy Smurf. And inside, RC Cola in honor of Cobra Kai.
That was
apparently Cobra Kai. Johnny only buys RC Cola.
That was a great Bob Tunyon article. Anyway, if you haven't seen it, check it out. Look it up. Robert Tunyon wrote an article to the fans detailing his arrival in Green Bay, how Aaron Rodgers was his scout team quarterback right away, which was a crazy story and all kinds of fun. Then he talks about a bunch of things in there, how much he loves it and all that. And keep in mind, he was a Detroit Lions cast-off. That guy was a Detroit Lions cast-off. That's amazing. Al Lazard cut by the Jags, too, by the way.
It also made Rodgers look like kind of a nice guy for all you Rodgers haters in this in this feed.
That's me.
Right away, came up there.
You don't have to say all the Rodgers haters. You can just say me.
It's good stuff, man.
Except one problem is Robert Tunyon, doesn't want to be called Bobby. But that's what Rodgers called him because he felt like calling him Bobby. And ever since then, everybody calls him Bobby. So he's like, oh, I guess I'm Bobby. I guess.
Ben will find.
I haven't been called Bobby since I was, in 4th grade or whatever he said.
He also didn't want to be called Tunyon, but he went with that for several years. So what do you want? Get over it, Ben.
I'm over it.
Still some really cool stuff in there about Rodgers, the way he welcomed him to the team and, utilized him, befriended him, pushed him, all kinds of good stuff. All right.
I'll say this. They better find a way to sign him back.
Yeah, for sure.
And for the long term, I don't want to see another 1-year deal again. Let's just get him taken care of.
When was the last time? Better question. Who's the last really good tight end do you remember on the Packers?
Really good?
Like okay, Robert Tunyon should have made the Pro Bowl this year. We know that.
Yep.
This is his first time actually getting extended playing time. I was calling for him to play, and I think some of us were the first time we saw him, like right away. Because who did they have? And he had a guy that had speed, could catch. Like, yes, get him on the field. You can do a bunch of stuff with him. So I just want to know, he's clearly the best guy they've had since Finley. But how many guys before that? Like who's before Finley that you remember that was actually effective in the passing game? What?
Not
Keith
Bogut.
Jackson.
Keith Jackson? Was it that long? I mean,
He's better than Bubba Franks.
the thing I'm trying to get at here, you're right. The thing I'm trying to get at here is the Packers do not find dynamic tight ends very often, or even good tight ends very often. So you got one now. Don't let him go. Don't let him go. Lock him up.
Yeah, but they've also got like 17 tight ends on the team.
I don't care. These other guys are not as good as him. I like the fact that they got, they love DeGuara. Great. DeGuara played part of one game, then he's gone. And on top of that, he's not as good in routes. He's not as fast. He blocks okay, but whatever. And maybe he's got as good a hands, but we don't even know because we barely saw him play. And you don't know how he's going to come back from the injury either. And also Sternberger, okay, I know you got another young tight end. Great. And you spent a 3rd-round pick on both those guys. But Sternberger is not as good as Tunyon either. So sign him, keep him on the team. He needs like a 5-year contract.
Daphne, they got Daphne.
Great. Daphne's also Indiana State, same school as him. So the Packers have clearly found their school. Just get Indiana State tight ends from now on, and you'll probably be all right. Anyway, they gotta get him 5 years. He's 26 years old. Tight ends will play well into their early 30s. Give him a 5-year contract. You won't have to spend as much per year. Put some money up front. Give him a good signing bonus and all that stuff, and lock him up. Because it's going to be 5 Pro Bowl years. 4 of the 5 years will be Pro Bowl years if you get him locked up and keep him in this offense. He's also very good for this offense. You need tight ends in this offense. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh, Bruce, come on now. Who's bringing a Bostic here? John O'Malley. No, don't. Finley was a monster before injury. Yes. He was very good. I just didn't like him very much personally, but he was very talented. He had some dropsies, though.
Yeah, he had some MVS problems.
He dropped the ball. That's probably why I liked him less than other people did, because he dropped plenty of passes and a bunch of the easy ones. He did catch the tough ones, though. Kind of James Jones style on that one.
Like Jimmy Graham?
No. Yeah, Jimmy Graham's last. Nico, did you happen to catch Jimmy Graham's big touchdown grab in that playoff game? Did you see the replay of it? Incredible.
What are you going to do when Jimmy Graham goes to the Hall of Fame?
Laugh?
I mean, great. He put up a bunch of numbers with the Saints early in his career, and that gave him Hall of Fame status.
Yeah, when Drew Brees threw 5-yard passes to him. That was great.
He used to throw it up the seam to him a little bit,
Okay.
But Graham was faster than everybody then. He was like a really great athlete. He was fast, and he could jump. But he showed that flash on his last reception right at the end of the game with the Bears, man. Did you see it? Did you see the one-handed catch?
Did you know you used to play basketball?
Yes.
Really? Is Antonio Gates a former basketball player too? Came from out of nowhere to be a great tight end. Oh my God, I never heard that story.
Oh man. Hey, Browner's in the house. Browner, go Pack, go. Browner, should we lock up Tunyon or what? It's off.
Hey, I gotta say something.
Okay, go ahead.
I watched the Billy Turner interview today from yesterday or some crap.
Yes, and what do you think?
Okay, here's what I have to say.
Say it.
When you yourself comment before anybody, not in the question, okay, but when your answer to a question that is not quite this, shouldn't have been this answer, is you talking about how many positions you played this year and how you didn't know you're going to be playing left tackle until 2 days before the game and blabbity floop flop. He's tooting his own horn, being able to do. He's saying, "Oh, it's really difficult to be able to do all this stuff." Blah 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 blah. Play all these different positions, and he said it's a lot better now that he's had like a whole week, 2 weeks to practice at left tackle, so he'll be better.
Oh, we'll see if he'll be better.
But I think he's pretty good at tackle. He's a dang good tackle. He could play right and left. He's not bad.
Wow. Okay.
He's not Brian Balaga.
Hold on. You're
He's not
really
that
going
good.
through you're changing your tune here. He's dang
No.
good. Now he's not too bad.
What I'm saying is this.
He's better than Bulaga. Like what level
tackle,
are we
he's
at?
not better.
Here?
I said he's almost as good. What I'm saying is him being able to play multiple positions on the offensive line and sort of do his job some of the time wasn't an asset this year because we had a lot of issues and he did have to move around and he was a guy who could do it. Okay. And that's great. So I give him props for that. I really do. But it doesn't explain his garbage play at right guard all last season, how he stunk up the joint when he played the same position all year long and sucked. So I don't want to hear any more crap about how great it is that Billy Turner can play. But I mean, listen, he's the third highest paid offensive lineman on the team. He's the fifth highest paid offensive player on the team. Woo. So he needs to dominate. It's expected that he can play at whatever position needs to be played to best suit the team. And he has done a decent job at that this year. And I think the Packers maybe not be quite as good as they are in certain spots if Billy Turner hadn't been able to do what he did. So I'm giving him props. I'm kind of giving him smack too. But I'm also just saying, hey, he did come in. He played right tackle. He played right guard. He played left tackle. He did things that, a lot of guys can't do. So I'm going to give him some love that way. Thanks, Billy Turner. You seem like a good guy. I just think they need to keep you at tackles and not ever play you at guard because I think you're better at tackle. But that's just it. So I just wanted to say that because I did see his interview, and he seems like a great guy.
I told you.
But it's like, then his first answer was him tooting his own horn about how he played all over the place, and it's like, dude, come on.
It's because people are finally like, putting the screws to him a little bit this year. They didn't recognize how bad he played all last year, but now they're like, whoa, he's whiffing on guys, and he does this and that. All right, Ben, that's fine. I did tell you he sounds very smart. He's a cool dude. That's what I'm telling you. That's why he gets to play. That's why the team gets kind of wrapped up with him because they're like, correct the film. And then he probably says, yeah, man, I know what I'm doing and blah, 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 and I'll fix it. And he sounds really nice and smart and knows what he should have done. And then he just doesn't change it that often. Now, he's better at tackle than guard. But I would say you shouldn't be, bragging on the fact that you went inside to play guard and played like total trash. Maybe I don't know. Maybe just don't say that. Maybe don't talk about it because I think you could have taken anybody to play guard and they would have been as effective or more effective than Billy Turner. And my man, Lucas Patrick, plays all over the place on the interior and he doesn't say nothing about it. He's just the man. So, like I said, this week, wait till you see it. Nathaniel Hackett, genius. It's going to be the floating guard. Patrick follows Aaron Donald over here, over here, over here, over here. And watch this. And if Aaron Donald lines up head up on the center, he's going to bump Lindsley over to guard for that play, and he'll snap the ball just so he can be right in front of Aaron Donald. And then the Packers will win. They'll control Aaron Donald. Because my man, Lukey Patrick is the best.
You remember Lukey Patrick against the rookie Brown from Carolina?
Yeah, but that guy was big. That guy was like 395 pounds.
Yeah, and he didn't outbeat him with strength. He outbeat him with quickness.
No, he like ran over him that one time. And
he ran over and then ran
his
around
helmet off. Anyway, all right.
All right. A couple of points with this.
Rico, offensive line,
right.
give it to us. Then we got to go to defense.
I would say Billy Turner has looked better at tackle, but especially this year, how many teams have had their offensive lines completely reshuffled at some point in the season with COVID things or injuries, right? I mean, there was a week that the Raiders almost didn't have an offensive line because everybody was out on COVID restrictions. So I don't think this is really the year to be bragging about it. And it's not like he was a threat to make the Pro Bowl at 3 different positions this year either. Just because you played him doesn't mean you played well. But is this now the week that maybe we see Jason's 4-guard offensive line setup come in and just dominate the line of scrimmage?
The Rams are small.
Can do it.
I mean, they're quick, but their defensive line is not very big. So I would just line all those guys up and run it right at them. Double team them at the point of attack and then get through to the next level and just plow over them.
Put Billy Turner at fullback so you can get a running start?
Sure. He likes to run.
He likes to
like
run
to block.
interference, like out in front, just
Yeah, he'd
kind
be
of
like,
getting
hey,
away.
you go over here. You
His
go
hands
there.
going.
You block that guy.
He'll have his hands waving around. He'll be doing this. It'll be great. It'll distract people at least. He's great. He's great leading like a screen. Put him out there for the wide receiver screen. Like line him in front. Give him and Sadies, and then and then throw the wide receiver screen to Devontae behind him, and then he'll run around like this, and the defensive backs will be really confused, and then Devontae will run right past him. It'll be great.
Jason, John O'Malley sounds like he's got a challenge for you here.
Then well worth the contract, John says. Well, okay. All right, John.
Going.
Go back and study the film a little bit more.
What? There's more? What?
The best thing you can say about Billy Turner is
I
that
think you guys just have your top chat on. You're not seeing everything.
he avoids injury.
Oh, there's more than just top chat.
John O'Malley says if Lucas Patrick shuts down Donald, he'll eat his whole shoe.
I didn't see that one yet.
That's because you got top chat on, not everything. You got to go to everything, so you see the faux language that some of us put out.
Jason's an elitist. He only looks at the top comments.
Oh,
he's running YouTube Kids.
Live. Okay, live chat.
See, John, you don't understand. Lucas Patrick is Jason's favorite Packer by a long, long margin. Like it's like Lucas Patrick is way up here. Then it's Aaron Rodgers way down here. And then he loves his brother way. It's like it's not even way down here.
Yeah, you can't even see that. You can't even see that.
You can't even see it.
Listen, though, I told you the last Packer jersey I had was Doug Evans, and I was thinking of getting Lucas Patrick jersey. That's how much I like him. Love that guy.
Whoa.
If you had 5 Lucas Patricks on your O-line, you'd feel good. You'd feel really good about it.
I don't know.
And if you had 7 of them, you'd feel even better. And then you just run the ball. Tote the rock, baby. All right, let's go to the defensive side because we talked enough offense. We know what the Packers have to do. They have to run the ball, establish run, play action pass, slow down the Rams a little bit, triple team Aaron Donald, help out Billy Turner, help out Rick Wagner. And when they do pass,
love the zone.
When they do pass, only put a couple guys in the route, like max protect, give Rodgers extra time, let all those guys stand around in the zone doing nothing, and there you go. Defensively though, this is weird, right? Because the Packers' offense is their strength, and you feel better about their offense being the reason they win the game, but they're going against a really tough defense. So I'm thinking, Nico, what do you think about this? Does this game need to be the Packers defense being the difference, stepping up and winning this game for them? What do you think about that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think their offense can still do it. I think that their biggest star in the defense this weekend might be the weather, might be Lambeau Field. I think that the Rams aren't going to put up a lot of points, and I think the Packers defense is going to hold up, and I think that I just think that that's going to go well for the Packers.
All right. You're not afraid of Jared Goff like
No.
Bernard is? Okay.
Who's their backup if Wolford is really out? Is it Bortles? Who do they?
Yeah.
Really?
So
Whoa.
There you go.
Now, a couple times Blake Bortles has had a couple good games in his life, so you never know.
Yeah, but Nathaniel Hackett knows all about Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
He's the only guy who can make him look good. Sort of.
That's what I was saying. I don't think the defense needs to feel like they need to win the game. They just got to not lose it. Right? I mean, just put up enough resistance to give your offense a break, kill some time, and just control the pace of the game. Don't let the Rams establish a running game and get momentum going.
Well, they can't afford to do what they've been doing. Like we can't get these long, sustained drives, and eating up all the clock. And the Packers only have 44 offensive plays. I mean, because with 44 offensive plays against the Rams defense, they're not going to score, above the 20s. You know what I mean? Because maybe they'll punt a couple times, 2-3 times in there. And so the defense is going to have to, play tighter, play bigger, stop the run. Goff doesn't like to pass the ball unless he sees it open. There's a lot of times where he's late on his passes. He should throw it sooner, but he doesn't. And it would have been a huge play if he would have threw it when he should have, but he doesn't. So that's that. Plus, he's got a broken thumb. And we all know there's only one guy who can play a whole year with a broken thumb, and that's good old Barf. So Goff is no Barf. You know what I'm saying? I mean, sometimes watching him makes you want to barf, but he's not as good as Barf was with a broken thumb. Ooh. So, yeah. What, Nico?
I was just excited to hear you talk good about Barf.
I wasn't really saying anything good about him. I was just saying he should have taken himself out of the game so that, like, Matt Hasselbeck or whoever the backup was that year could get in and actually play. But he knew that if he did, then they'd see somebody actually good playing. So then he had to keep playing even with his broken thumb all year long. That's why I was saying.
He had to ruin it. He had to ruin it.
He wanted to keep that.
It wasn't intentional, but I just happened to be wearing my Jared Goff, also my favorite local brewery T-shirt. Where got the broken thumb.
Nice shirt, Rick. That's great. That's pretty good. Are you? All right, Rick. Let me ask you: are you concerned? Because you know McVay will stick with the run, unless the Packers get like a huge lead, which it'll take a little while to do that, probably based on the field conditions and other things and the weather. But can this team, if they play base 3-4, everybody's calling for it, play base 3-4 like they did against Tennessee for like the first time all year, they stopped the run pretty effectively. Can they do it in this game? Do you think they'll do it? Do you think they'll play base 3-4, or will Mike Pettin still come out and have like an extra D-back on the field, one linebacker, and do all this other dumb stuff that he likes to do?
What concerns me is I don't want to see them get cute. I don't want to see them get tricky. I don't want to try to outsmart anyone on either side of the ball. The Rams offense shouldn't be scary, right? I mean, the passing game isn't going to be that big of a threat, especially if Kupp is injured. I don't know what his status is, but their passing game isn't going to be what breaks it open. The biggest threat is, as Ben was saying, them establishing the running game and controlling the momentum that way. I'd like to see the defense, if they can make a 3-and-out every possession, awesome. I don't see that happening, but what I'd like to see is them not giving up a 2-play 67-yard touchdown that just completely swings momentum, re-energizes the Rams. Put up some resistance. I kind of hate bend but don't break, but I think in this instance that would be enough to win. They don't need to come up with a stop every time. They don't need to create turnovers. They just need to not let the Rams run away with it. So I would like to see them play just straight up, 3-4, even if they go to a nickel, whatever, just have the guys there. Now they got fat snacks there. They got Kenny Clark. They should be able to keep the defensive linemen fresh. They shouldn't get so worn down. It shouldn't be so easy for a team to establish this running game and just control the clock, control the flow of the game, right? They've got guys now that they should be able to rotate in without putting their linebackers playing nose tackle. And, unless they do something really stupid, they shouldn't get run over. So
that is one blow. Kingsley Keke is doubtful, so he's probably not going to play, which sucks. Nico, I forget your defensive philosophies here. Do you like zone defense generally or not?
I like whatever works.
Okay.
So whatever. It is either one can work as long as you execute, right? I mean, it's a matter of. And I watched you guys Tuesday show recently, and you guys, Ben was breaking it down about the Rams effectively using the zone because they're you do that as your game plan. Then if someone does there, then you break off and do what you need to do. So it can work. You got to be flexible. You got to a big key can be whatever you thought was going to work, scrapping it in the second half, coming out and going the other way.
One thing I want the reason I wanted to ask you is because the Rams offense is much like the Packers offense, right? We know LaFleur worked under McVay and Shanahan and all this stuff. Except as Ben was pointing out, the Rams do even more window dressing, even more motion, even more stuff that's like, getting you if you're playing man, could get you out of position, because you're following the guy in motion or you're doing this and that or whatever. So that's what I was trying to figure out. I mean, I'm more of I love man defense better than zone defense. But in this game, because of all of that, because of what can happen to man defenses against this style of offense, I would love to see the Packers play 80% zone, because then you don't get out of position with all that motion and all that stuff moving around, because the spot on the field you're supposed to be in. What do you think of that?
You're right. But my main concern is when it's 3rd and 2 and they're 9 yards back, and then when the ball is snapped, they take 3 more yards back. If you're going to have a zone, make sure that every zone has somebody in it. There's not easy first downs all day.
The toughest thing for the Packers defense this week, I think, is because of all the movement the Rams do, it's going to tip off Jared Goff on what type of defense the Packers are playing. Okay, because they'll sometimes move 3 guys before the ball is even snapped. They'll have one guy move in motion, then he'll stop. Then they'll have another guy move, and then they'll have the first guy that they move, he'll come back again. And all that stuff is going to happen, and it's going to tip off the whole Rams team and the whole Rams offense as to what the Packers defense is in, whether it's in man or zone. If they play man, then what could end up happening is the Rams like to do route combinations that work with each other, that set up picks and set up of different plays to get guys open against the man. If they play against the zone, there may be a way for, the Packers defense would have guys out of position, or, like there'll be a whole bunch of guys over here that aren't doing anything because the Rams offense is only attacking this side of the field. And they do that all the time. The one good thing is this: Jared Goff does not have the same control at the line of scrimmage that Aaron Rodgers has, or that some other NFL quarterbacks have. So even though he's able to see what the Packers are doing, whether they're in zone or whether they're in man, you can't necessarily change the play or change routes that certain guys have. He will change the play at times, but usually what it is McVay calls 2 plays or 3 plays in the huddle. He calls one that's good against zone. He calls one that's good against man. And after they see what it is, then Goff will sometimes you'll see him switch the play. But all he's doing is switching the 2 play calls that are already called. So it's a little bit different, where Rodgers will sometimes he'll change specific people's routes by certain looks or certain whatevers based on what he sees from the defense, right? Where Goff doesn't do that. He just calls one play and then he'll change it based on what the defense is doing. But we might have the advantage as far as, okay, he knows we're in zone and he knows based on this movement, he can attack this part of the field. But if the play that was called does not attack that part of the field, we might be okay. I don't know if anybody understands what I'm saying or if I'm even explaining it right. But what I'm saying is, like, the Packers have a good chance, if they're smart and keep things in front of them, that they can be prepared for anything the Rams call, whether they're in zone or in man. But they have to really be careful and not get tricked by everybody moving around and this and that. And then when they do fake blocks and then sneak out, that's the worst. That's the only time the Rams get open, really, is when they do fake blocks and sneak out or stuff like that. Or a guy will move, they'll move the whole team over to this side, and this guy all of a sudden sneaks out over here. And because the Packers are playing zone and everybody moved this way, or the defense moved this way, they weren't paying attention to this one guy who snuck out back over here because they were all focused looking in the backfield, because that guy blocked for 2 seconds before he went out over here. And the next thing you know, he's wide open. And the Packers have done that same stuff. How many times do you see Mercedes Lewis, not in the red zone, but in the middle of the field, where he'll block for a second, and then next thing you know, he's wide open. There's nobody within 10, 15 yards of him. Well, it's because the Packers have those same plays. So luckily, our defense has seen that in practice with our team, and hopefully they don't get caught up with that. So playing zone is great because you get to keep things in front of you. But sometimes by playing man, you have a specific person who's designed to watch a certain guy, and then they can stick with that guy. But what they can't do too is, if you remember last year in the playoffs, we had Savage, whose specific job was to watch George Kittle. Remember, he was supposed to cover George Kittle. And George Kittle would come out and block a dude, and Savage just be watching George Kittle, waiting for him to stop, to sneak out after he blocked, and then come and run. And he never did. He just kept blocking. The next thing you knew, the 49ers are running all over us. So it's really tricky. The offense of the Rams is going to prey upon guys who aren't sure what they're supposed to do and aren't sure and don't have the instincts to play, But I think this year, a whole year later of playing together, I think Savage has proved he's got better instincts. Amos has got better, is a little better with the team. And all those guys, I think, will be in a better position to make plays. Plus, the talent the Rams have is not as good as the talent that the 49ers had last year in the playoffs. So I'm pretty comfortable in thinking the Packers defense is going to be fine. But I don't want to see him do what Rick said, to be honest. I don't want to see him play bend but don't break. Because by playing passive, you're giving the advantage to the team who has lesser talent. Because their scheme is going to get them open. So if you're playing back and just let their scheme work, you're in trouble. I'd rather have them be smart, play up close, take care of things, attack when the ball's in the air, and maybe once or twice they'll give up a big play. But for the rest of the game, they shut them down and they punt. I mean, the Seahawks caused the Rams to punt like a million times in that playoff game last week. There's so many punts, so many 3-and-outs that the Rams and the Seahawks both had. So it's interesting because I don't think the Rams' talent level will allow them to take advantage on big plays, even if guys are open. Goff sometimes doesn't throw the ball until it's too late.
And they don't have burners like we talked about. They don't have that speed guy that's going to like really get past you quick, so you don't have to worry about it. So, everybody in the chat's calling for it too. Stack up, play the run, and if you're going to play, I think it's the best plan to play zone in this because of all that stuff, all the window dressing, all the misdirection that they try to do to fool guys. And if you're in man, you can get out of position and then potentially give up a big play that could hurt you. If you're in zone, that's not going to happen. But the Packers have to play an aggressive zone if they're going to play it. And I also want to see safeties being aggressive because you're not worried. Cooper Kupp? He's not going to run past too many guys. Same thing with Woods. They're good, solid possession receivers, but they're not burners. So I want to see the safeties attack. I don't want to see a safety 20 yards back sitting there and then going back in his first move. I don't want to see Kevin King 10 yards off. I want to see these guys be aggressive in the secondary so they can assist in the run defense, but also be aggressive in the pass defense. And I do think this game is going to be the Packers defense has to be a big part of why they win. So I want to see all that stuff. Now, it does suck not having Kiki, but you still got a good rotation. That makes the snacks pickup that much more important at this point because they really do need to keep Kenny Clark fresh in order for him to be effective. All right. So everybody's on the same page and all that. We feel good. Apparently nobody thinks Goff is any good, even though he was paid like a top tier quarterback a few years ago. Apparently he shouldn't have got all that money because everybody thinks he's a bum.
Now watch him come out and destroy us now. But
So just
I just don't see.
for the sake of argument, the defense, we've been seeing call it a more aggressive defensive approach from the Packers the last few weeks. If they come out and get burned deep, is Pettin going to revert back to his soft, I'm not going to get beat again sort of scheming, or do they stay in this more, aggressive or more solid up front defense? I guess that's my concern is I don't want to see them get beat and then it's the playoffs and freak out and go back to what we were seeing early in the season.
Well,
so what do you think?
Well, here's the thing I say, Rick. If for some unknown reason, let's say the Packers go 3-and-out, and then the Rams get the ball, and like what you said happened, maybe they give up a big play, right? And then the Packers go 3-and-out again, and then the Rams get the ball, and you're saying, and they just play off and play off and play off, and then that drive becomes longer and longer and longer. That could be 2 3-and-outs, a big long touchdown, and then a crap ton of freaking plays in a row because they can't stop the run and they aren't trying because they're worried about the big play. And if that all happens, Packers are screwed. Because then they're going to have to try to come back. Rodgers is going to try to take it into his own hands. He's going to start doing crazy stuff, and then it's going to feed right into the Rams' hands. So if they do give up a big play, they got to keep doing, like if they're playing aggressive, they got to keep playing aggressive. But I think with the difference is, Jason and I, what we're talking about is we want to see beefier guys on the line, take away the running game, and maybe have guys like, I know everybody complains about like King being 9 yards off and all that kind of stuff, but it's like sometimes you have to do that, right?
I guess it says 18 yards off. King 18 yards off for as usual.
But it's still, that's all I want. I just don't want to see them play like 4 down linemen and then have or two linemen, and then the Smith brothers, and then 6 defensive backs and Christian Kirksey, and they think they're going to stop them that way because they're not. You know what I mean? Like someone's going to get open. The Rams scheme is too good. It's not going to work. And then not only that, they're going to get ran all over. So they got to stick with the 3-4 in these conditions and shut them down that way. Shut down the run. Force Goff to throw the ball with his freaking broken thumb because he's no Brett Favre, as Nico likes to say. He loves Brett Favre. Back to you, Rick.
All right. I'm not calling for a prevent defense the entire game. And I agree. They brought in a big body to try to stop the run. And they need to focus on the run. That's going to be the way that the Rams are going to win this game is with the running game, not the passing attack. But especially if the field is wet and knowing some of the decision-making skills of some of the Packers defensive players, I don't want to see them just leaving guys wide open like we've seen at times during the season. And then again, have Pettin freak out and they start, everything tightens up and it goes back to what we were seeing the first quarter of the season. Like that is not, even if the offense is playing well, that's not going to be enough to get it done. But, my take on this was predicated on the offense coming out and getting the job done. If the offense is struggling and going 3 and out, then it's a completely different ballgame. I'm not calling for the defense to have to win the game. If the Packers offense is coming out, putting points on the board, the Rams are trying to come from behind. If we've got a 14 or 21 point lead, let the Rams chew up the clock. 2 possessions a quarter isn't going to win the game for them at that point.
Fair enough. Now I know Rick and Ben.
Did you just say we?
I
thought you were a Raiders guy.
He's silver
I'm
and
on
black
Hafeman
blood.
Brothers
He's
talking
a Packer.
Packers, not Raiders.
He's a Packer guy. Yeah.
He's always Packers are always his NFC team. Now I know that Rick and Ben are trying to make Bernard scared again. You guys stop it because Nico already told you early on in the show, 99%. He's feeling 99%.
99%.
Packers.
No doubt about it. I was looking up some stats while you guys were talking there. The Rams have 2 guys that had 90 catches, and neither one of them got to 1,000 yards. I mean, that's they're not doing the home run balls here. you gotta be up on them. You gotta be attacking. You gotta be putting pressure. They're not looking for the 50-yard bombs left and right. 124 targets and 129 targets, and neither one of them got 1,000 yards. That's crazy.
That is wow. Yikes. All right, so we know what has to happen.
You don't need King 18 yards back.
All right, it's time for scores, and then we're out of here. Give your scores in the chat. Scores in the chat. Who's going to win this game? What's the final score? Everybody loves scores, giving scores except me. So you guys do it. And then we're going to do round the horn scores. I don't like giving scores, so I'm going to give my score first. I'm going to say Packers 38, Rams 23. Eric.
31-17. Green
Bay.
Bay.
Okay, thank you.
What's the weather going to be?
30-some degrees and fine.
Yeah,
I think
9-mile-an-hour wind, so wind probably won't be much of an issue. Not that cold. Snow is done by then.
That changes my opinion now. I got to think about it for another second. If it was going to be 25 or less, I was going to say 31-0.
Oh.
But if it's above 30, I'll go 31-3.
31-3. Woo!
31-3.
Wow.
Yep.
Holy crap.
You think this Packers defense?
Yep.
Wow.
The Rams scored 3 points in the Super Bowl. They can score 3 points in this game. I got Tunion's letter. I got a Little Wayne song. It's all coming together. It's all coming together.
Wow.
Ben, here's a good question. And in the chat, here's a good question. Do the Packers adopt Bill Belichick's 6-1 defense that he debuted in that Super Bowl to really screw up the Rams offense, and they never recovered?
No.
Okay.
They'd be more likely to run a 1-6.
A 1-6.
Yeah.
Kenny Clark, 6.
Pettin won't do that.
6 linebackers.
Pettin won't do that. No way.
Ben,
Plus
you
we don't have enough guys. Me,
I got to get to the scores in the chat.
I think the Packers defense is going to score a touchdown one way or another. I don't know quite if it's going to be a pick or it's going to be a fumble recovery, but someone's scoring on this. I got a feeling it's going to be probably Savage, I think, is going to score either a pick or a fumble recovery, and he's fast enough to get there. So that gives us another 7 points than what I was thinking. So I'm going to go 34-21 because I still think McVay and the Rams will do enough stuff. Like they're a good offense, and they have a good system. And the Packers sometimes get caught in a bad spot, and either going to be big plays that are going to happen because they're playing aggressive and guys screw up, or they're going to give up long drives and that kind of thing. But so I think it'll be 34-21.
All right. Browner says, well, Pack. Yeah. Okay. I was assuming for you. Sorry, Ben. Browner says Green Bay 28, Rams 17. John feeling good at 31-14 Packers. Eckes thinks also the same 31-14 Packers. And Bruce says 31-20 Green Bay. Double Doink, how you doing, buddy?
Double Doink's back.
It says Green Bay 23, Rams 27. He thinks it's going to be a little tighter and a little more low scoring.
23-17.
23-17. I'm sorry, 23-17. Is that not what I said?
No, you said 27. You had the Rams winning that.
Well, then I can't. I looked away too quickly. I was like James Jones trying to catch the pass. Or MVS is coming in. I looked away. Oh, and I dropped it. Sorry about that, Double Doink. 23-17, Packers win, according to you. So, based on everybody here, based on the authority invested in me and Hafeman Bros, the Packers are in the NFC Championship after tomorrow. So enjoy the game, everybody. Don't sweat it. We know what the Packers have to do. They know what they have to do. Ben, Nick, Rick, Naked Rick.
Hey,
back go. What do you got, Ben? One thing before
are we going to have a? Oh, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to jinx it. Okay.
All right. Don't say it. Don't say it. Just enjoy your Packers victory tomorrow night. We hope so. Or tomorrow afternoon, actually. Evening by the time they win. Go Pack, go. Everybody stay well. Be safe. Don't go buy your nation's capitals or state capitals this weekend. Be safe.